Sure. We had a open house at like the year invited. There was, I saw it on the news, I didn't hear it last night.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about it before. So they had pre-buy Mondays a few times. Whoa, any possibility. Any possibility. Right. Yeah, okay.
That's right, we have a small curtain there.
No,
But the tents are covered in a big cup.
True. I give them this.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm not volunteering, they know where the hell.
Kind of.
Well,
Well, I was like.
I've had my fair share of this, I don't forget. Some good stories.
we're all set down. And we're going to be a little bit late because we have to.
Yep.
Let's call this meeting to order. Let's stand for the pledge.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jonathan and Jenny on the board side are excused. Heather and Pete will be coming later. They have open house. This meeting was submitted to the Green Bay Press Gazette on Friday, August 15, 2025. The meeting notice was distributed on Friday, August 15, 2025 for posting to the Board of Luxembourg Bank of Luxembourg Home Office, Luxembourg Post Office, and Casper Post Office. Our district's mission statement: we inspire minds, challenge students, and promote excellence. We are Spartans. I need an approval of the agenda.
Oh my God.
Okay, there is one typo on employment. Letter U. I don't know who Christian Meaden is.
It's Chris
Christian.
Menden.
Yeah, it's Chris Menden. Okay, so a motion by Alex,
Yep.
second by?
I'll second.
Second by Brandy. All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carried. Board of Education recognizes the value of public comments on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on district matters. Prior to making a public comment, individuals must announce their name, address, and group affiliation. Each speaker's comments are limited to 3 minutes. All statements are to be directed to the presiding officer. No person may address or question board members individually. Speakers should not expect an immediate response or reaction to their comments. Do I have any speakers? Come on up.
I guess we're here with Brian Grimm, address is N3714 BP Line Road, and we're here on behalf of the LCUSO. So,
Okay, you want to come a little closer
Sorry.
so the speakers can hear you?
Sure.
Okay.
My name is Brian Grimm, address is N3714 BP Line Road. Affiliated here with the LCUSO softball organization.
They are on the agenda, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry,
Do you
Yeah.
want them to speak now, or?
we can wait. So,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Why don't we wait
was
until
who
the
the-
agenda item?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're
No problem.
Then why don't you get out?
good practice.
Yeah, see, now you know what it's like to come up.
Sounds good.
Our next meeting date is September 17th at 6 PM for a special meeting with the municipalities. It will be held right in this room. And following that meeting at 7 o'clock, we will have our regular board meeting. Board comments? Any? Summertime, right? Okay. Moving along to administrative reports.
Consent agenda?
Oh, yeah. Why did I missed it totally? Yeah, it's like a page and a half. Consent items. Items under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted under one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time the board votes unless a board member requests an item be removed from the consent agenda for separate action. Do I have an approval?
So moved.
Motion by Dave. Second?
I'll second.
Well, everybody fall asleep. Motion by Dave, second by Alex. All in favor?
Right.
Administrative reports.
Heather's not here to start us off.
Rebecca wants to
I'm
go.
here first today. Well, the audit is complete, and I know when they left, they took actually 2 full days, but they had 1 less person this year. But ended with 2 journal entries only when they walked out the door, so I was very happy. And then the heat exchanger was approved by the warranty company, so we do not have to pay, so I was so happy about that. I had to wait to tell everybody. I texted Joellen when she was on vacation, but I knew she would love that, but then I forgot to tell Tyson, and I was like, oh my God. I said, well, I want to tell the board. So yes, that was really good news.
No wonder you want to go first.
Yes. Very good news.
But that was a lot of solid work on Rebecca's part
Yes.
and continually, poking at them and, getting other opinions and, keep pushing, so that was good.
Just one item, I was down in Wisconsin, I was presenting on our business partner relationships with the community and the programming that we built from there, but the opportunity for me to learn and network a little bit. There's some really good hands-on experiences that we can offer our middle school kids moving forward and different things like that in the 16 career clusters. And then also, how do I build what they would call social capital? How do I work with businesses and support them and do activities where a business would come in, personal finance, Dave would come in from an insurance perspective, and kids would have to he would put together a thing that they would put together a proposal to him based on insurance and learning, and that's just a simple example, but then he would listen to each group's proposal. And being an outside business helps those kids because it's not the teacher that's a lot of times they don't care as much about what the teacher thinks as when somebody from the outside is in and observing them and seeing and trying to get them to the real world. Plus, there's more knowledge in the room with the business expertise. And so it's kind of a unique partnership, like we could do Russ with DNS in our machining class and different things like that. How can we get people in our classroom to challenge the thinking of kids, to push them a little bit and how to build that skill set. So it was really interesting. Excited to try some new things. So
Constantly learning.
just don't slow down.
Our digital leadership team has been working on AI and responsible use of AI with our students, and they've come up with some guidelines for ethical use and a usage scale. So it'd be very easy for staff at the district to either put a 0 or a 3, where 0, don't use AI in this assignment, 3, use it any way you want, and then there's a range in between. They picked Magic School, which is a product. It was free for teachers, but we have a student version as well, so we are paying for that. And so it's an AI specifically designed for school to help students. It doesn't do the work for them, but it helps get them used to using AI in a responsible way. Most AIs have terms of use, which have age limits, so that kids that are 13 and below should not be using their product, because it actually says they can sign up for an account, but it says in the fine print that you have to be 14 or older to be able to use it. So we're looking at grades 6 through 12 and implementing and training for AI. So we have some AI training for staff. We did some over the summer, and we have some coming up with the in-service. It's like cell phones, right? They're not gonna go away, so we have to teach them
Yeah.
responsible use, right?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Make sure, last week was busy, we had new teacher in service, and I had my special education in service, so it was good to put all the staff back together. We went over just some kind of procedural things, made a few changes for us to just be more efficient, doing less on paper and more kind of spreadsheets, and letting some of that technology work for us to be more efficient and free up some time. So kind of rolled out a few just minor changes along those lines, which felt good. Started to lay the groundwork for some co-planning work that we're going to be doing with CISA 7. They're going to be presenting to all staff at the in-service next week, and we kind of previewed that with the special ed team. So that felt really good. It's nice starting to see teachers back in the building more. I was just over at open house at the intermediate school, and it was really fun just starting to connect with some of the kids again and see the parents. Just excited for the school year to start.
Hello there.
So each month I look at the calendar and I say, okay, well, what's been on my calendar since the last time the board met? And I got to 10 bullet items, and I just thought I would summarize it to be preparing for the school year, from hiring to forms and fees, orientation, open house, communicating with a bunch of us about resurfacing the lots out there, helping Jesse get that message out, AI training, data retreat, safety meetings, new teacher in service, and well, next week the staff are back, and whether we're ready or not, September 2nd, the kids are gonna be at the door. So busy.
No, it's like Todd said, it's that time of year. You can tell it's ramping up. New staff was in last week. It was a good week. A lot of new smiling faces. We had freshman orientation last Wednesday night. I think when I looked, we had 92% attendance overall, so we had pretty good attendance for freshmen showing up. We did a 25-minute presentation in the auditorium, just giving them kind of some of the basic things and how to look at their schedules and figure those out, and then let them loose in the school to find their lockers, find their classrooms, and ask any questions that they had. So freshman orientation was great. School success team meetings to develop school goals, like Todd said, safety meetings as well. So it's just that time of year where you can tell it's definitely ramping up, and with all staff returning Monday, it'll get loud in these buildings again pretty quick.
All the fall sports are officially underway as of this week, so ramping up for competition is, golf has had a couple competitions, but home football is Friday, so excited for that, to get them on the field, and yeah, all the other teams are getting ready for their first competitions.
So similar to what the other principal said, just tons of meetings. We had our second annual third grade scavenger hunt last Wednesday. We had about half the third graders show up again, which was the same as last year, really successful. It's just a really great opportunity for our third graders, incoming third graders, to get an opportunity to tour our building under a very stress-free environment. They're with their families. They get to see the various classrooms and spaces that they're going to be in and out of all day long. So that was great. Obviously, we had open house tonight. Busy per usual, went well. No complaints with that. We also had our first PTA meeting tonight, so it's been a very busy night. That was a quick one, and moving into our next PTA meeting, our board of the PTA board changes over in leadership. Everybody's terms basically expired, so we have got some people moving around. Otherwise, new teacher in service has passed. I think I mentioned the last board meeting that I had a lot of hiring to do. I was successful in all of that hiring. Right now we only have, thank you, Todd. As of right now, we only have an open para position, and that was as of 2 days ago. We had a para leave us to go take a full-time teaching opportunity. Unfortunately, that's been my luck, is it's not that people are leaving because they don't like our district or our school. It's just that they're finding other opportunities in career paths or specific subject areas that they're more interested in, such as Haley Wenninger. Again, she was one of our fourth grade teachers. She went back to get her license in reading intervention, found a job in reading intervention. So it makes sense. People are moving where they want to go. It's just unfortunate for us for losing some really great people, but we brought in equally great people, which is fantastic. So that's the only position I'm looking for. We're a little concerned about finding an applicant to fill that spot, so we have a solution in the meantime. I have 2 subs that are coming in the first week of school, and we're gonna schedule them on a weekly basis to cover the gap, to make sure that there's coverage until we do hire. Very thankful for those subs that are willing to just be on standby now for the next few weeks until we figure things out. Other than that, that's about it. Really excited for the first day of school. Open house always, I think, brings a new push of adrenaline just with getting to see the kids again and families and their excitement. Some excitement. There was a lot of kids that were like, I don't want to be here. So they'll change their mind when we get back to school on the 2nd. But yeah, overall, all is well.
Well, they're coming.
They are. Yep.
Okay, discussion item 24, 25, end of year actuals.
All right, I know you guys got it in your packet. So the first page is the revenues, and what I showed was, the estimate that we had, like, which was earlier in May, what we were kind of predicting, and then the June final estimates, and where we landed. And that, I mean, obviously I won't go line by line unless you guys had some questions, just, point out some of the other areas, the larger areas like the gifts, for the tech donations. Now that amount was lower than before because we thought some were coming later and not all of them came, and then some were the previous school year, that went towards the diesel program. Open enrollment, we already knew we were gonna be short, by $59,121. Refunds was a larger one for $61,542, that's workman's comp, E-rate reimbursement, and then workman's comp audit refund, so there's 2, you get a dividend, and then there's an audit refund after they review your payroll numbers. Above that was the Act 220 personal property aid, $51,120. This used to be put actually on the revenue limit sheet, and this past year, Department of Revenue did it different, and we actually got it as a check. But they said it's gonna go back on the revenue limit sheet, so you're not gonna see it on the revenue side this way again. They don't know if that was like an error, but they said, don't expect that to continue that way. So really, that was actually additional funding. And then, short in the mental health grant, because we didn't spend it all, but that money can be carried over to the following year, so we still have that money to use then for 25-26. And then firefighter grant, which was an expense fenced out, so peer-to-peer suicide grant, so those were a few, the fast forward grant. And then the high cost transportation aid, we never really know, so we've been budgeting around $90,000 every year. Because it usually comes in around 110, 120. This year it was less. We only got like 76,000. And it was based on some of the route cuts and not thinking that, so we're gonna have to keep that on the lower end now that we have less routes. We're gonna be getting less of that money back. So we took additional revenue in of $339,012 than we anticipated. And then the expenses on the next page. I did the same process, what we thought May would be, estimating, what the end of May would be in June, and then what those months ended up being. See, like bus garage, just spent a little bit more, got more like tire purchases and things to quick stack up. Trying to see if there's any like big ones. Some of them were pretty close. Utilities was not as much of a savings. That is kind of hard to predict. All I can kind of do is see what we did last year and kind of average that out, but it ended up being a little bit more, and that's a lot, just higher costs. And then the tuition, we saved more in the tuition. That's for all those programs, UWGB, Bellin, NWTC. Even though we have more kids coming through the program, we also now are getting reimbursements for the credits that are over 18. So that budget wasn't as spent. And I know Mike and I talked about, like, we do want to kind of keep that up even for 25-26 because we're now getting even more. Now that more kids are hearing about the program even 2 years later, he's like, it's going to continue to get larger. Is that well said?
Yep, we have
Good.
up to 40 juniors this year. Last year we had 15 incoming juniors that want to be a part of it, which is a good thing because college is very expensive, and if we can help them navigate that world, that's a very positive that our district is doing.
And then, like the miscellaneous, you'll see there that it went from 147 to 1.80. That was always money that was there that we didn't want to be spending anyway, because that's for the referendum money. That was for that third year when we would be short. But just to show actually what our actuals are, now it's on there just so that you guys see that, that would have been a savings. And I don't know, I know we brought up, I think at the last meeting a little bit, Joel, and had indicated like, you know, with positions that were not filled, the salary benefits excess, because all of those we still continue to budget. A lot of it's to turnover, so then you just have subbing filling in, and so you're saving there. And health insurance changes that happened throughout the year, so that actually went in a good way for us, that we saved $93,000 on that. And then the special ed transfer ended up not being as much as well. It was actually saving $176,000. So overall in the expenses then, we underexpended by $1.672 million. And so then our projected surplus for 24-25 is the 2.011, so $2,011,516. But $1.2 million is invested at that WISC at PMA, which will be used in that third year for the referendum. And then about 665 was that leftover for projects, but we took like 650 from that to spend. So really then it's just a couple $100,000 that's gonna be going into fund balance technically. Questions, because it's a lot. It's good news.
All the way around.
And this is, you know, numbers from an audit unless they would come back and say, hey, we need to make these few changes, but it's very, very close.
So far, so good.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Luxembourg Fire Department request for purchase, or to purchase land. So at fire rescue meeting that we just had in July, we are looking, or the fire department, I should say, is looking to buy land. Well, there isn't a lot of land available in Luxembourg that would be prime for the fire department. But it was brought up that there are 3 little parcels right here between the bus garage and IGA going back to Prairie Lane. And part of that is owned by the school district. So they asked me what I thought about it, and I said, I don't think the school district is gonna buy or sell any land, but I said, I will bring it to the board just to hear what they have to say. Because I said, I know that at one time, that would be a place where we were gonna do construction. That would be where we do it. So, your feelings, your thoughts?
We sold too much already.
I agree.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Okay, so I brought it back. I have to say, I did get a lot of phone calls on this when the agenda came out, yes.
I just want to look and make sure I totally understand what this is. And what would the possible use be for if we ever needed it?
Fire department,
No, no.
a new,
A new fire
oh,
station.
or the construction,
Oh, for us.
yeah.
So, yeah, between IG and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yep.
It's just a small, it's not a big parcel. But if you take the 3, then it would be.
Who owns the other 2?
One is a private, and then the other is tied in with, not IGA, but with Benton's.
So it's not a
So you
100% reliant on us. It's a
Right,
All three.
but all 3 would have to agree with it.
I think we let the other 2 sell first, because then we can ask whatever we want for ours.
I mean, sell it, I would not vote to sell that.
No, I wouldn't either, because like Dave said, we've sold too much. Okay, Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting. We need to set a date.
We need a date.
Alex, Brandy, and Robin.
I'm assuming before the next meeting is there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then, Jenny, Tyson, Rebecca, can you look at your calendars, because you need to be at the meeting as well.
Pretty wide open, so some for your
Yep,
dates
throw
up.
something out there.
What?
Baseball season's over.
Wow.
It's like, usually they're like, I can't miss anything.
Wait a minute, somebody's gonna throw a clincher in here. Come on.
I'm unavailable.
I'm not available on Mondays. Okay.
Basically September 13th through 20th, I'm not available.
Okay, how about September 3rd, Wednesday?
Can we do it
I
early?
cannot.
I can't do that.
Well, I'm sorry, I know, but it's, I've seen this picture.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How about Thursday the 4th?
Works for me. Well, what time?
What time?
Whatever time you want. Noon? Would be great.
That's even better.
I figured that.
It's perfect for my calendar.
4?
You gonna send an invite?
Yep.
September 4th, 4 p.m.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Then policy committee, we need to set a date.
Yeah, well, I'm the only one that's here.
Well.
Should be easy.
Okay.
How about the week of September 8th?
I could do Monday the 8th.
I'm okay for any day.
Okay, let's put it September 8th. That's a Monday, what time? Jenny's on a committee, right?
Yeah, so probably 6 for her.
Let's try 5:30 if we need to change it.
I mean, I would love 4, but yeah,
Yeah, but she doesn't go out till 5.
yeah, well, whatever.
All right, we'll
Okay.
try that and see how that flies. All right.
Okay. Discuss and approve the 24-25 BOY budget revisions.
So this is a process that, at least we have not done since I've been here, but it is always an audit finding. You know, not a bad thing, but they do indicate it, it really is just stating when you don't do this, then it's just showing overages and under. So moving forward, like I wanna continue this process of getting those revisions in, and then you have to have board approval of them. Like to get in the process of trying to do it even sooner though, because then when they do July 1st aid estimate, it's based on it'll be based on your budget, but they'll see the budget of what our actuals is when you do it this way.
So more if you do it in June?
Yes, yep, because then
Okay.
they'll get those numbers and they'll get even a better number from them, so, yes. So really, that's all, the previous approved amount was what you guys did in October, and then now it's just lining up with, where we actually spent and the money we took in to match.
So you're saying that if we do it in June instead of now, it's I'm not sure how it's been.
So when they do the July 1st, the state does the July 1st aid estimate, they look at your budget.
Oh, okay, it's
So
not the
our
audit.
budget showing we spent how much money,
Okay,
when reality we spent almost,
Yeah.
1.6 million less, so then our aid really shows it's very much, is very off. where if we get this in sooner, then they're gonna see, oh, they only spent 25 million, so now they'll give a better aid estimate for us. So that's based on actuals.
Yeah, and then when we're able to start getting into Fund 46, and then if we have overages, to just put that in there, it's considered shared revenue for that year, which means that it was spent. Even though we didn't spend it, we put it in Fund 46. So that just cleans up that end
All
of
of
the year
that,
report
yeah.
as well.
Just wanted to make sure it didn't
Better
mess up
process.
the audit part of it, then, which comes
Yep, and
right
then the
after
audit,
that.
no more findings. That's it, every year I wanna get better points on the audits. So,
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Dave, second.
I'll second.
Second for Brandy, all in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Bus bids.
all right, so I know I emailed them on Friday, cause they were due Friday by 11 and 11:30, and then, Dan Opichka and I reviewed them and had discussion. I listed, so Ascendance Truck Center, was one of the bids, we got 3, I sent out 3, we received 2 back. Ascendance used to be Mid-State, but they're now called Ascendance Truck Center. And they had technically 3 different options for us. They have, some in stock. They had 2 actual 2026 72 passenger, but they were both no luggage box for the 135/7. And then they had 2 2027 72 passenger, one with luggage and one without. So those are sitting on their lot. Then if we decided to order the 27 buses, one with luggage and one without, it shows obviously a higher increase with $3,500 for that tariff surcharge, but he's saying that's what they're getting as an estimate now. There is no guarantee that this might not increase if our at it. And then Wisconsin Bus Sales, they just have the option to order, so they're Bluebird Visions and what it is for with storage and without. And then Nelson Bus Service, they haven't bid in how many years, so I'm not sure what's up with that. But, so after discussing, Dan and I decided we would recommend doing one of the in-stocks with the no luggage, the 2026 for the 135,700, and then one of the in-stocks 2027 with the luggage box of 140,600. Instead of taking that chance to order the other ones and not knowing how much we could end up paying when those come through. Because we do not pay until delivery. So we can order it now, but it's not guaranteed that 144 and 141 cost. Now I had Dan come, in case you guys had questions, because he understands the busing. I know the Bluebirds, we don't ever end up purchasing. He said a lot of it is, I guess, the Internationals have a buried engine now too that they're making, but Bluebird does as well. But he said with Bluebirds, every repair on there, you have to buy Bluebird parts. So you really end up spending more money where you don't have to with that International. So he said that's kind of the other reason is every part has to be purchased from Bluebird manufacturer. So, anything I'm missing?
Does Ascendance sell, do they offer a truck like the Grounds is thinking about getting? Or is that below their,
They sell any, if you're gonna look at a heavy duty truck for Grounds, they would sell that.
so if this truck is on the table, which we still have yet to determine through buildings and ground and stuff, but if we're gonna end up buying a truck, would it be worthwhile to see if we could get a deal by getting all 3 at once? Versus buying these buses and then going back to them in a few months and negotiating a price for a single truck?
We could. I mean, I don't know what kind of a deal he's really giving us, but I don't know.
I don't think it's really a deal that he's giving us, that's
No.
his bus price.
Yeah.
If we were to buy maybe 10 or 15,
Sure.
then you'd probably get a break, but buying 2, I don't think there's,
That there would be.
Okay.
And before anybody goes home and thinks about it, I did talk to Jim again yesterday. This 26 and 27 that Rebecca's proposing are sitting on the lot already. But the warranty does not start. It would not start till the start of the school year in 2026. Like the new ones we have sitting at the garage now, the warranty hasn't started yet. He sends all warranty in the first week of September. So we'll still get the full 5-year warranty, even though the bus will be 7 years old.
That's good
Is
to know.
that, Rebecca, that 138-2, what is that? Is that a different bus or is that?
That's without the luggage box, and he wants one, when the bids went out, he wanted one with the luggage and one without. So he took the 26 with no luggage box.
Okay.
So yeah, they're cheaper when you don't have the luggage boxes in them.
This is with or with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we did the 27 without, that'd be more expensive than, okay.
Correct.
And these will have air conditioning. Just
Yeah,
sitting on the lot with air conditioning.
Yeah, and now, I know all the other buses do not, and so I know there was discussion about that, and I just said, well, we're just gonna have to learn to all get along, whoever gets those buses, because I said, when money is tight, like, I'm like, why would we not buy these that are sitting on the lot already, just because they have air conditioning, you know, like, I don't wanna take the chance to spend 10, 20, 15 grand more because of air conditioning. I just have to be like, this is how it is.
And Jim's a pretty straight shooter. When you had ordered 3 but only took 2 that year,
Yes, he's been
he
wonderful.
sat on that bus a long time because it did not have air conditioning. That standard feature, we ordered without, they have to take it off. So,
he did us a solid.
yeah. He's a very nice man, and he's retired.
He's retiring, so we're bummed, because, yeah, he's been wonderful to work with.
I will make a motion to purchase the 2 in-stock buses from Ascendants, otherwise known as Midstate.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss and approve the UW system early college credit classes and start college now.
Just finishing up fall or first semester schedules, we had 2 more kids request to take classes at GB&TC, 1 student for instrumental percussion, 1 for accounting 2.
Make a motion to approve it.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Right?
Opposed? Your motion carried. Discuss and approve the RFP for the district storage plan.
Strategic plan.
Strategic plan, oh my God. This is my 3rd night in a row, by the way, of meetings this week. Yeah.
So this is a request to approve sending out a request for proposal to develop a strategic plan. I would rather have an outside entity help us with the strategic plan, that way it's not my strategic plan, it's not the board's strategic plan. That there can't be any allegations about, shifting things one way or another. We do not have a formal 5-year plan. There's many advantages to having a formal strategic plan. And we're gonna make sure that as we do the strategic plan, we have ample opportunity for community input in that plan as well. And so in your board packet was that request for proposal. I talked to the superintendent at DePere, because they did an RFP for strategic plan a year or so ago, and I have a list of the people that he sent it to, and some other people as well. And so we would just see what came out of that.
What are you anticipating the strategic plan to all entail? Are you looking at building and grounds? Are you looking at curriculum, staffing, or what are they, what do you anticipate encompassed in this plan?
Yes, staffing, curriculum, looking at, when we're talking about staff, we're talking about retention and recruitment,
what kind, is that part of our strategic plan as far as strategies? 'Cause we know that we have difficulty doing that. Curriculum, and where should we be looking at curriculum? It's kind of a mixed bag. It's, what does the community want to see happen? And that helps formulate where the strategic plan is going to show that, we need to be working on specific things.
And we'd be looking at sending the RFPs out to,
To a list of people that do strategic planning for organization. So we have somebody that will come in and do it.
do you have any idea what kind of time frame or dollar cost?
Well, based
is,
on
or-
the new biennial budget, right, we're going to have to go through a referendum. So our referendum sunsets in year 3, because we did a non-reoccurring. And we did that intentionally because we didn't know what was gonna happen with this biennial budget with the state. We were kind of hoping that, actually, we were very much hoping, and it looked like it for a while, that the state budget would make us whole again and we wouldn't have to go to a referendum. In the 9th hour of the state budget, things got switched, and we will need to go to referendum again once our sunsets. So this weekend, we'll be getting that community input, and then we'll use that as part of the referendum as well. But I'd like to also have the strategic plan done prior to, when we start talking about referendum, what will our numbers be, and, go through that whole process again. We're looking with the referendum that, to be a little bit different, because we'd like to have the vote go to the community at the November general election, so about this time next year. So our timeline, where we thought originally we had a year and a half, we really have a year, which is short time. And then if for some reason it doesn't pass, we can go back in October, we can tweak our ask, and we can go back in April. So we would have a second shot at it. That would give us a little bit more, honestly, like reassurance that, if we lose it once, because if we lose it in April, now we're cutting people right away, because we have to get contracts out, and we don't have a chance to bring something back that might be more palatable to the community and still meet our needs. So I'd like to have the strategic plan done with that, because when we're talking about, what do we need, this is our direction in our strategic plan, and then dovetail the referendum with that.
So what kind of time frame are you looking at then?
So as soon as you approve, you start mailing it out. And then, I think that, I didn't put, the proposal dates down, because I didn't know if they were gonna get approved or not. But, I'll look, I'll see, I'll ask people about how much time they need. But the idea is that it's gonna be done by spring.
We won't do it during hunting season.
That starts in September.
And when they help us with our long-term planning, how long a term are we?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. Usually in this kind of strategic plan, we're not really necessarily talking about finance, because, it'd be difficult for somebody to really understand the finance as much as like Rebecca, does, and where we're going. And we've been managing the financial plan pretty well. Buildings and grounds, again, I think that is something that, we can look, and is that a priority for our community, is to maintain our grounds, and then we have that 7-year plan that we registered with DPI, that we've been tweaking, because we didn't have money to do what we said we wanted to do. So that's a constantly changing document.
Most schools and businesses do have a 5-year plan, and that they update constantly.
I mean, it's just an RFP, so I'm fine with it. It's like, we'll decide on what we decide on, but I'm surprised you need board permission to send out an RFP.
I'm just letting you guys know.
Oh.
I
Fair enough.
want to make sure that you know on that, because then it'll be coming once we decide which one we want to go with. Then the recommendation will come to the board about which company we'd like.
So we're giving her permission to send these out.
Yeah.
She doesn't need it.
I'll make it formal, I'll make
I'm
a
being
motion. to
good.
approve it.
Okay, motion by
Just we can look at it.
Alex,
I'll second.
second by Robin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. JV2 coaches' salaries.
This was just a few were out of line, a couple, JV2 football used to start a week later, a week or two later, that's no longer happening, and the WIA did approve that JV2 can play the same amount as JV1 now. So just trying to align them. A couple sports were not aligned, so.
I'll make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Activity account for class of 2029. Oh my God.
Yeah, so just got the new freshman class coming in, so we're just looking to open an account for them for depositing money and taking money out for things that they spend money on for their class.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Motion's been made by Alex, second by Brandy. All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the 25-26 high school coaches.
Make a motion to approve it.
Motion by Dave, second. I will make the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Middle school coaches.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Alex, second by Robin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss and approve 2 homeschooled students to take 2 related arts classes in the 25-26 school year.
Pete and I have a family with a first grader and a third grader. They're just looking to get their kids exposed to the related arts piece of school. They've worked really closely with us over the last few weeks, coming in for a tour and talking about the possibilities of what options they have for related arts. They've both chosen to take our split 2 times every 6-day rotations. Mine is PE and Spanish, and then Pete's is PE
and
music.
music.
We both have space currently, so we're requesting that this is approved for them. The end term or end goal for them would be that their kids eventually are enrolled in our district, so they're just kind of testing the waters to see if this is something that they're interested in doing. They are resident, it's a resident family, so they live in district.
Okay, I will make that motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Track resurfacing.
I'll just start off. You saw the really long memo that Neil put together, but it was very detailed, which I appreciated, because I asked him to write it, because he's the one that met with all of them and with the bids and talked through them. I didn't really understand a lot of it. So we have latex now, and I know one company does only latex, and then one does latex, and then the polyurethane, is that how you say it? Okay, so, I'll let him kind of go through then, Neil, based on what for sure the recommendation is and why he is. And before he starts, that's why I give you guys the project update, to at least, I will do this every month for you then too, but to see where we were with the money wise as well, like if you chose to do this, because some of the stuff is out of order, and some of it, like floor scrubber and carpet inspector, it's just because Lee's been busy with summer cleaning, and he's like, I'm not in a hurry for it, so I'll get it later. The corridors, I'm gonna have part of the B&G committee, so yes, so I'll have to put that on the agenda, because I wanna have more of a discussion with Steve Headkey over there, with the dyeing, the polished concrete. There's just so many options that I feel like it needs to be at that level before we bring it here. So I just wanted you guys to have that before going through and approving this. But Neil, you're up.
You want me to stand here, can I go there?
You want to come a little closer?
Yeah, so the
Larry?
microphones can hear him.
Yeah, so I was pretty thorough. I explained that
me talking about track surfaces is like trying to speak a different language to people. That's not something that people know a lot about. So I was trying to be as detailed as possible. I gave a little history because I'm not sure if many of you were even here or were part of it. I wasn't here when it started, so in like the year 2000, I believe I talked to Tyson a few times and Benny. That's about when it was built. And then it's been 25 years about. When Janice Tibius was here, she was the business manager prior to before Rebecca. That was the last time that was resurfaced in 2013. Based on recommendation, it should be probably between 5 and 6, 7 years. So we did it once in 25 years. Last year I was out with Chad Schimmel by Quick Trip. I could look for the car wash and I couldn't see the lines. I've been painting the finish line the last 5 years myself by hand so we could see it to run a meet. The other track lines are coming through from the previous one from 2000, so it's time. And I'll still practice on it and we'll still do the best we can. I compare it to the old house on the street. I'll take care of it as best I can, but it's gonna need some time, and I won't be here probably in a few years coaching track possibly. So this is not even about me. This is about the long term of the district, about what's best for the long term. So I've been here for 20 years coaching, and I might experience 1 year on it if it's new. So I'm thinking long term, and I think that's what Jenny has done and everyone else, long term vision for this. So the 3 people we contacted, American Systems, they just do latex. Fisher Tracks, which is number B, the letter B, they only do polyurethane. And then Rattler, who I'm recommending, John Kinnear drove here from Stevens Point and met with me personally on probably the hottest day of the summer on the track. I believe that Rattler Corporation was a corporation that the district worked with when they were talking about doing turf at one time here prior to COVID. So he met with me and gave me some, and he's willing to do both. So the reason there's two different services, I listed some schools that we've been to recently or new places. So Little Chute, Wested Pier, Wapaka, Preble, Kewanee, Wrightstown, Chilton, all the Green Bay schools have got polyurethane. Algoma is doing one right now, polyurethane. Notre Dame is doing one, polyurethane. So is Michigan, and De Pere will be doing it too. So all the people who are doing newer ones, they're going toward the polyurethane, and the reason for that is because I think Rebecca printed it off for all of you, the 20-year plan. I wanted you guys just to see it. The upfront cost might be a little off, but in the 20-year plan, you can see that there's a big difference. And then based on our harsh winters and everything else, people are going to the polyurethane because it's more durable, it's better overall. I'm not opposed to latex either. Trust me, anything is better than we have right now. But I'm just giving you the fair, honest depiction of what I've seen from the tracks I've been to. I know my daughter personally 2 years ago ran Appleton North, and she's like, wow, I felt really fast today. And coming from our track, everything does feel fast. So from a coaching standpoint, getting a new track will make our kids feel like the other tracks aren't as good anymore. So, but that's a positive thing too. So, but I have any questions you have. There's different costs, obviously. We talked to Jesse and Jenny. We met with John here on video. There is a drainage thing that they talk about too. So the bleachers, this is separate from the track, but the bleachers are airtight. So when the water runs down, it all goes under the bleachers where the storage, or the pool pits are, high jump pits. And if anyone ever wants to come down there with me, I would be more than happy to go down there. I thought about it for the last 20 years. I've probably been down in that complex more than anybody else in this district for football and track and practices and middle school meets. I'm there a lot. So if anyone ever wants to come down there and take a look at it personally, I would be more than willing to do that with you. So, but my recommendation would be polyurethane because of the overall cost for the 20-year plan. It's durable. If we did latex, that's fine, but we'd be one of the only ones that are doing latex when everyone's moving to the poly. But if you have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
How long have you said that these other districts have them, how long have they been around using it? Because maybe I'm misreading it, but I didn't see anything here saying that it's 20 years. I see a 5-year warranty on the poly, but I didn't see anything, unless I missed it, And it says that it's good for 20 years. How
Well,
long have these
well,
other districts had?
Yep, so your question is correct. So in that plan, so of the latex, so that's kind of a flaky substance. I would consider like little wood chips, if you ever walk out there. And then every 6 years, you're supposed to get it resprayed, like putting new stuff on your shingles, let's say. The latex, if you run on it, it comes apart a little bit more easier. Where the polyurethane, I know it's just a weird analogy wise, but the licorice you get from Fleet Farm, the tubes, you cut that in half, that's what polyurethane looks like. It's more of a stable surface that when you run on it or drive on it, it doesn't flake off. So you don't have to replace as much. A steel roof compared to shingles, you just have to, it lasts longer, you have to put something on it over time, but
But on the point that you have here, this is.
that's the proposal that Fisher sent us.
Okay,
I didn't write that.
okay, but it's based on a polyurethane, and it says that it's got a 5-year warranty.
That's
and no.
what they said.
Well, what does the other one have for a
20.
warranty?
Oh, mean the latex? What is the warranty? on
No,
the
not the latex, because I understand the
The
latex.
20-year we were talking though was the 20-year cost overall.
It's
Like,
not a warranty, it's a
It's
cost
not a
over what it
warranty,
would
what
cost
we
the
would
district
spend in
for
20
Okay,
years if we did latex.
How long will the polyurethane last? Does it need to be redone like
They
the
both-
latex does?
They
And
both
if
do.
so-
They
It's
both
on
do.
the sheet I passed out today.
Are
In the
you asking
file.
what the difference in warranty is? Are you asking what the difference in warranty
Well,
is?
a warranty, and I.
If I could step
something
over
today,
here quick
maybe I
to
could
Dave right here.
have
I
a
have an
chance to.
extra copy.
This is what
so
we're
you
looking
got it.
at.
So the latex, every 4 years, he's saying you have to do that. The overall cost of 20 years would be 300,000. Based on, every track needs to get something done after a certain time because it does wear down. This one is gonna be less because it's more durable.
I don't recall seeing this
Yeah.
before. When did,
There we go.
I passed it out today because we just got it today.
okay.
So I brought it.
So I haven't had a chance to see it before,
No.
so that if I'm asking.
He was on vacation.
Strange questions, it's
Yeah.
because,
He was on
Yeah,
vacation,
you're
he
good,
called me
you're
at
good.
noon.
Yeah, we just got the information today.
And I got it this past like. So looking at the latex option, the 20-year cost is approximately 300,000, where the polyurethane 20-year cost would be 210. So district-wise, it's a savings of roughly 90,000. Because the latex, even though it's a cheap rough run cost, the flakiness of the track and people using it more, it needs to be replaced more often, where a polyurethane is more durable and it's less of a replacement. That's why I think more schools are doing that.
how long have any of these districts that have it, how old are they already? And, you know, on paperwork, you can say it's gonna
Well,
hold up.
every school Dave
Have
I've
they held
listed
up?
has built their track in the last 3 to 4 years.
So
So they're
the
not
reason-
building latex tracks, they're building polyurethane tracks.
Yes, but you can't tell me a polyurethane track that's been around for 10 years or whatever already, doesn't know that they're holding up. That's my.
I would say Little Chute, Wested Pier have been there for over 7, 8 years right now.
Okay.
Wapak is about 10. Kiwani just built theirs.
Yeah.
All the Green Bay schools, and I don't participate always ever, these are the tracks that I personally have attended. You know, I haven't ran at Green Bay East or West personally. Preble just built theirs. So to answer your question,
The only ones that have been around for any time would be, what do you say, Wapaka and.
yeah, they built theirs a while ago. And anyone who had latex for a long period of time, they have switched, more of them have been switching to polyurethane because of the extra cost that latex is presenting in that 20-year window.
I don't think this is the only thing that's moving from latex to poly either. I mean, there's a lot of floorings that are getting away from latex to poly. I don't even think that the 20-year cost for latex is gonna be accurate, because in 20 years,
That's gonna go up too.
you're not gonna be able to even find somebody to do it.
Right. So
And the cost of polyurethane is gonna be so much more prevalent that the price will just go down in 20 years because it's high right now because it's new.
So like, yeah, your example for Fisher Tracks, letter B, they used to do both, they just eliminated doing latex altogether.
Right.
They just eliminated it. And Rattler, again, works with both right now because they want those options. For some districts who feel like their budgets are a little bit tighter, they want to still offer that as a option. But, yeah, you're right. This is just an estimate as of today. I don't know what's gonna happen in 10 years. Things change. And to be to give you a quick example, in 2013, when we first surfaced the latex here, it was 53,000, and now that's gonna cost over 100,000. So in 12 years, it doubled.
So what company you'd be recommending, Rattler?
I would recommend Rattler because for me, I'm more of a face-to-face person. He drove here from Point without anyone even prompting him, met me on the hottest day at 1 o'clock, and I took that as, I love that about people, when people are willing to come out of their way. And he called me today after vacation and gave me this information.
And their poly price is within the budgeted or the estimated cost for the reseal track, right? 175. Poly
I
cost is
believe so, sir,
165 and
yes.
175. My only ask would be that if we are doing an investment like this and we have something that tells us what it's gonna cost in 7 years, it should be a budget line item. So that in 7 years, this isn't a big deal.
But that's why we have Fund 46.
Yeah.
And that's why we're starting to put money in there so that when
Right.
things like this happen or
We
boilers go
we
in the
could have
primary school.
a futuristic budget line item for Fund 46 thing, I'm sure you're on that already. But this would be one of those great things that would be in there so that in 7 years, we're not sitting here coming up with 100 grand.
Before that was Jerry Jacobs, and I talked about this 5 years prior to 2013, because I knew it was gonna happen. So, I think we've been very fortunate to only do it once in 25 years, but that's probably not what we should be doing. But
Where is the one coming from?
It was part of the project list. It was at the
It's-
bottom
we're
above the
just
bottom.
gonna-
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
that's what I thought.
So do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion for it.
Motion by Robin, second.
I'll second.
Second by Alex to approve the track resurfacing going with the polyurethane. Or Rattler. All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carried. Batting cages, Zach Casco.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks,
Yeah, thanks, Neil.
All right, so we're all from the LCSO, which is our girls swim team softball organization. So we are trying to find a spot for our girls to be able to hit all winter long. Because the reality is we hardly ever can get into the new gym where the cages are, or the old gym where the cages. And so we had a parent suggest to us that the middle school, or the old middle school's band room would be a great place for it. So we went in, we did some measurements. We've actually bought equipment to put in there, the cages and the turf, and so now we're just looking to see if he would approve for us to put it in there. Main reasons we want to do this is to keep up with the Joneses. The other school districts have winter cage facilities for them. And we know that the community band uses that room right now, but there really would be no change for them. It's actually cleaned out pretty nicely right now. The turf would stay down, the cages can be pulled back. So it'd be a nice place for them to practice, and they would get, obviously, first dibs on it when they needed it. I guess the main thing is that it's not gonna cost the district a whole lot other than letting us use the space. So we're just wondering if you would allow us to do that. Something we did talk about, that at some point we decide we can't use it anymore, we'd like to take the cages and the turf back and find another facility that we could put them in, because it's pretty expensive to do this.
And also benefit the district, because we think we found out this last spring that the weather doesn't always want to cooperate with spring sports. So instead of, it would just be another facility for baseball and softball to utilize after school. Varsity could go there when track is in the gym, or, you know, like I said, it's another facility that they can utilize. And wouldn't just be like softball that's using it, it would be softball, baseball, and I think it would be a great addition to help all our kids be able to do that.
Questions?
I have some questions. Go
Okay.
ahead. I know you too.
My biggest is, how are we patrolling that lock on that door?
Gonna have to be a discussion because the keys aren't gonna work.
Right.
Because I have problems getting keys back now. My suggestion would be one of the card system, but I know that costs.
What does that cost?
Is there a
Well, I
Wi-Fi?
thought that was relatively expensive.
Why not just
There
use
is
a-
Wi-Fi in the building.
Just use a Wi-Fi lock.
Yeah.
You can have,
Just go out,
I mean, I think that's an easily overcomable problem with a Wi-Fi lock. You can change it on an instant with your phone if you have to, and you can see who's been in and who's been out. You know, the only way to get in and out is to put in an individual code. You can have as many or as few as you want, and every time it's used, you can see who is in there at any given time.
Well, and they're gonna have to still reserve it like any other, I have to have insurance, it'll be through their LCSO or the baseball. So it still is gonna have to go through that process. They can't just come in whenever they want.
Right.
So my concern is LCUSO bought the stuff. They're going through the work to do this. What is their guarantee that they get to use it and it's not always full by baseball instead of softball?
Well, I believe, from my understanding, if it's a donation to the school, it's gonna be used as any other facility. That's my impression of it.
Our donation policy is that when an organization makes a donation to the district, it becomes the district's property. And
But this
while
isn't a
we will-
donation, they're asking for it back if they're, I mean,
Well,
they
and
asked,
that's-
when they
that's
came to the
something
board,
that
they
you
asked
need
for
to
permission to use the
consider.
room.
But if it's in our facilities, we have to allow. There, you really can't have what you get
I
priority.
don't think that we're looking for like top priority. I mean, it would be nice, right, because we're putting the foot forward, but on the first, I think everything has gone through a first come, first served basis. I know the youth groups all get together
We
in the
have a good
spring.
process of
Yeah.
how we do it now.
I don't, I personally, I think that, like, when we get together in the spring, boys and girls sit down here, and we go round robin, and all the teams pick top to bottom, and we keep adding teams, and we've never run short of finding space, and the teams all work together. I work with Alex using other facilities, making sure that he has space, that we have space. So
And it doubles the number of teams that can practice at one time at that school, because our team can hit for 45 minutes and flip with another team while they're using the gym. So it's a win-win that way. And we have reached out to the boys to see if they're able to help us.
I tabled that because I want to
Yeah,
have this
that's okay.
discussion first.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we do have to be cognizant of Title IX with equal time for boys and girls sports, so.
Right, right.
But given the fact that you guys are making this investment, if something happened in a year and we decided we couldn't use that room, you want assurance that the gear would go back to LCUSO.
Yes.
That would be enough for LCUSO?
Because we'd like to put
yeah,
it
because
somewhere else.
we were just trying to
That
find
would
a
be your
different facility.
Our policy is that once it comes to the board, and you accept the donation, which is what this would be, then it is district property. Now, if you decide to give it back, then.
Are we able to make any assurances to LCUSO that if this would close next year, that they could get it back?
We can. You guys have.
Yeah,
have to
we
decide that.
we put that in.
And that would be enough for you guys?
It could be done on a loan basis, that they're loaning it instead of donating it to
Right.
us for
Well, we could
instance.
donate
Well,
it to
I
the
just,
district.
it's
I don't like
You can
that.
donate it back.
I'm just in that scenario.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think it needs to be anything crazy,
Then
other
we
than
have to accept
everybody in
that
this room
everything
heard
is
that that was the
fine.
intent.
Anybody else?
Are you saying liability
Well,
for
and then-
damaged equipment?
Just because of things that happened in the wrestling room, other organizations can technically rent this space out. Like, right?
Technically, yes.
Every,
Mhm.
that's anything in this district has insurance. Something like that.
Moving forward, who will be responsible for maintenance in there? The school? Like if we need to replace a net, will the school be replacing the net then?
Does that make sense? 'Cause we developed
Well,
the
okay,
chair.
and that's another thing, so if it's a donation, and then we get that initial donation, we would be responsible for upkeep, or, you know, if it's end of life, then the board would have to decide whether or not to invest in, you know, repurchasing new equipment or not.
How old's the net that's in the gym now there? Does anyone know?
Oh, upstairs one?
No, the one
in
in,
the gym, like 3 or 4 years?
Oh, it's 4 years.
and that one's in really good shape yet, right? There's no.
They last a long time,
Yeah.
especially when they're indoors.
Right.
It's usually it's the light outside, the UV stuff breaks
Right.
down the cages, and, I mean, a good example was, we all chipped in and bought the new batting cages for the sports complex. We're not expecting that back when,
Right.
and when it comes time to buy another, I'm sure we'll be involved there too, so. we're not going anywhere. So that's why we wanna make sure that this is something that, like, my kids are leaving the program, they're leaving the youth program, they're going to the high school program. They're looking forward to having this as an option in spring, because it's gonna help them.
I have no issues with any of this, as long as logistically we can figure out how to manage it.
I don't have any issues with it. My concerns come up because originally I thought it was basically we're giving permission for use of the room. I don't wanna see LCUSO lose their investment if something would happen in the short term. As long as everybody that was in charge of LCUSO realizes the circumstances and you guys agree to do it, then I'm fine with it.
I think as long as you note it somewhere in writing that we could, so that way when all the people here are not here anymore. So
In
it's
3 years, if they
documented
can't use it, they
somewhere,
get the stuff
right?
back.
How much time?
I don't know, 3 years, 5 years?
What do you mean, like?
Not understand.
If we were not able to use this room anymore, after how long of a period do you not want the stuff back?
That turf is gonna last a long time.
I
I
would-
put 20 years on that, turf, you know?
Right, because they're only using tennis shoes on it too, so it's not
Yeah.
gonna get off.
I don't know, it'd be hard to
I would
put a number
do
with
at least, do 5 years if you can, that's a reasonable amount.
What's,
Past that's gonna be.
what's the valuation on this?
The total of everything is about 7,700.
And if I was LCUSO, I'd go to the boys and say, you guys should make a donation to us because we did all this and you're gonna benefit from it.
Hey, listen here.
We didn't want to bring that up tonight, but we'll have that discussion with them.
So I mean,
We'll
that's
settle
another
it
thing
somewhere.
too. That's not something that we don't want to mud the waters for the district or the board or anything like that. That's something that the youth groups, plural, together, take care of on the side. You can drive around town and look at the batting cages at the boys and the girls and the strikers and Blue Jays. Like, there's $60,000, $70,000 worth of improvements that have been made around the village. So like, it's long haul. So
With no money in the village, other than
Right.
$1,000. So realize that we're ready to do that for kids.
What if other sports besides baseball, softball want to use that facility?
It's the same process as renting the gym or anything.
Just want to make sure, because I know we had talked, Joel and I just went through Casco recently looking at some of our storage and stuff, so I just wanted to make sure that was a point brought up, because there could be other sports, golf may want to use it if there's turf.
You can't, we
That
can't.
can't happen on that. I don't think you would ruin it.
So that's
You'd
right,
have to
I
put
want to
some
bring
kind
that
of
up, because that
mask
could
down.
get brought up, because that was
Well, there
something that
could
was
be
floating
limitations.
around.
I mean, there's limitations of what can and can't be done in a
Other
wrestling room.
Well,
Yeah.
because, what Heather's referring to, I mean, it's just, it was a conversation that kind of happened that we heard that then the golf crew was saying, well, we didn't know that room was available, we would have wanted that, and so it's like. For
Correct.
simulators. But that's why the cages could be moved, so I don't
So
know
they
what.
could put that there too.
I
They
don't know
just
how-
have to put something on the floor because you couldn't.
I
really
think
go all about
the
that
problem with
turf.
the simulators, it's permanent, is from what I understand,
Yeah, and they take up quite a bit of space.
so.
Yeah, I think we're arguing about stuff that's probably.
Yeah, right, we're probably making it more complicated than it needs to be.
But, I guess, Casa or whatever, when they're there, wants to use it for, and something gets destroyed because some other group used it, then we gotta know who was in there, so we know that who's liable. I mean,
And I think with that investment that we got in there, we'd like to, hold somebody reliable for their
Right.
nets being torn, or, when the community band is in there, we'll work with them and make sure that it's cleaned out, the nets are pushed back, and the club that's in there before, make sure that they do that.
I think that the procedure would have to be that when you're done, everything gets pushed back.
100%.
when it's done,
Yeah.
you collapse it. It's just similar to the balcony
Yeah.
in the middle school. When you're done, we put it all away.
So. Anything else?
How do you want that written in the motion?
Yeah, bravo. Write her up.
Well, since it has to be a donation, that the school is accepting the donation from LCUSO in exchange for a 5-year promise of the room.
Jeez.
Oh, is it dead?
Shut it, no, it's not dead, it just shut down, I must have hit something wrong. It just kinda said that at some point that the room is no longer deemed usable for us, that we would remove the equipment and the turf.
Yeah.
If at any point the district decides to revoke the use of that room, LCSO will be returned the equipment.
Yeah, and we'll remove it and everything, right, yeah.
Yeah. How about that?
Do you want a time limit on that, or is that just in perpetuity?
Actually, don't put a time limit on it.
I'd say leave it.
Leave it in perpetuity. And since it's a donation, then the school would be responsible for upkeep cost.
No, I wouldn't put that in there.
Well, that's for all the facilities, right? It's kind of what it
It
is.
isn't, I mean, but at times we went to clubs and said, hey,
Right, and that's something to be cautious about, because as clubs keep,
They can.
improving their
Right, right,
programs
can't,
and buying things for the kids, which is great.
No, I'm not-
then,
I wouldn't put
are
that
they
in
going
there.
to
I'm
take
just
a
saying.
responsibility that when it's end of life, that they're going to replace as well? Or, otherwise that falls on the district. So when you're accepting donations, that's something you have to, weigh.
I would leave it for perpetuity that they get it back. And I think that's enough.
So that's a motion?
You guys okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that
That's a
motion.
second?
Yep.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor?
all right,
Right.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One quick question, how soon can we start putting things in there? Is that you? Okay. No? Jenny?
I mean, it's approved, so if it's ready,
Yeah.
if the room's ready,
Who's putting it in?
Brian Grimm, John Schultz.
Yeah, Don Family will be working with us.
We want you to coordinate with Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, they will,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, they've already been documenting.
He was great to work with on stuff already.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Don's fantastic.
I like that
Very
because
good.
when we use that, you can see who's been in and out.
But for right
That's
now,
we gotta
we're
know.
gonna leave the keys the way they are, and we'll look into other options. Because we don't wanna key in the turn.
That's-
Keys are a nightmare.
I really think the Wi-Fi lock would be the way to go.
What's the cost of something like that?
Oh, $200.
Oh,
And it's app driven and you can it's super, you can do whatever you want, super flexible. And you can always see.
I need it for every-
No, we should put one on the.
but the thing is, you're gonna have to give a gym key out to get into the gym, to get into that room.
No, that's not
No, I
what we
think
should do.
you're
We should
saying from the
spend
outside.
$400 and have one to get into the gym and then one to get into that room.
Fine.
Mhm.
That's-
Fix the problem, and now then you don't have to have keys and you don't have to have it, you know who's coming in and who's coming out.
We'll look at that.
Mhm.
That would make much sense.
$400 seems.
Well,
I
when
know.
I do a deadbolt, that's what it is, $200 a piece, but I don't know what kind of locks you need on the doors, but you can buy a Wi-Fi deadbolt for a couple $100, no problem.
At least if it's for it.
Yeah, we can do it, whatever.
There's lots of, stop.
Sounds good.
Rocket scientist stuff.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Need for updated and accessible playground equipment.
This is just an information item.
Well, sorry, that's the thing.
Pete and I both feel that both of our playgrounds need to be updated for many reasons. But one of the biggest is just that they're very old. I can't speak for Pete's, but I did have Rebecca and Dawn try to pull any POs for any playground equipment in our current lot. And I would say you're probably gonna be the best person to ask, because we were talking about that in terms of how old it is, but the. I did not mean it like that. I apologize.
Been around for a long time, believe me.
I'll expect my letter of being fired tomorrow. Sorry, no, I didn't mean it like that though, but, I apologize.
Longevity.
The earliest it went back was, I think, 2006, and that was only for repairs. So we don't even have formal POs on record anymore of when the playground equipment was purchased. So at this point, it's over 20 years old, at least on
Ours is
my
too.
lot.
Ours is too, and we actually had a bridge that broke a few years ago, and we tried to get the parts to replace it, and we couldn't. They don't. So we just took the bridge totally down, and then we had to buy the
railings or fencings to block off those areas that went to the bridge. And I think those two pieces of railings cost over $1,000 just for two small little pieces. So the stuff is expensive. And if you can't get parts to fix something that breaks, you know, we lucked out. We had a slide. At the bottom of the slide, there were cracks in it where, you know, kids could catch their clothes or even worse. It was in sections, and we were able to get a section. They had one that was just laying around, so we purchased that and fixed it, but we can't rely on them having those things because they just don't have all that stuff in there.
I'm willing to bet that some of those are there since like 2000, or no,
I think the primary
think-
school playgrounds were put in 2002 when the primary school,
Yeah, pretty
or
much,
2001.
but
when
I
the-
think
when the
like
school was built.
1986
Yeah.
Right.
for some of.
And I mean, we have
others.
a few newer, quote unquote, newer pieces of equipment. They're not made the same way. If you've looked at the cost of playground equipment, it's substantial. The piece that we most recently added, which would have been when I first started, in 2023, costed $14,700, and it is probably one of the worst pieces of equipment I've ever seen manufactured. The metal is not good, it's breaking down already, and that's only been in our lot for a few years now. So like Pete said, there's a lot of safety risks. We also had to tear down our tube slide after some damage occurred to it this past school year. No one was willing to replace those parts. We couldn't even get the parts. A lot of these companies just aren't willing to service our equipment anymore. But then I think one of our bigger things is that both of our playgrounds lack accessibility as well. So any students that have any physical limitations really are not able to access anything. They can sit on the swings if they can get on the wood chips. Otherwise, they are stuck to blacktop only.
And
So-
as much as the equipment is costly, those rubberized or
Surface.
accessible surfaces are ungodly expensive.
So long story short, we're looking to start sending out some donation letters and making calls and stopping into businesses, just trying to solicit donations to at least get this process going. But I mean, we're looking at both needing about 500,000 each to redo the entire playground, each of our playgrounds, which is a very large cost. Nothing that we would be able to do on our own, just because that would take quite literally,
Send Mike out.
you know, I agree.
You know, he's pretty good at
Yeah.
finding money.
It would just take too many years. We were talking, is it Brimmer Park that's around here?
Yeah.
How many years it took for them to, you know, raise as much as they did for playground equipment. We just don't have the time. I mean, our equipment will quite literally have to be torn down before we get that. So we wanted to start with donations, see what we can get. That was something that in our last referendum, the community asked that we start doing prior to, asking for any additional money, is to try to solicit donations. We want to start there, get as far as we can, and then the goal or a hope would be by the time our next referendum comes that you guys would potentially consider putting that on the ballot to help offset any additional costs that we have. So attached to the letter, I did have, and I don't know how Jennifer attached or printed these, we did have a draft letter for donors that would go out, and again, Pete and I would send emails, letters, try to go in person when we can. And then I gave you just a rough general playground fundraising plan that talked about how big our lots are, potential equipment we'd be looking into. But like Pete said, the playground surface is probably where the highest cost comes in. I mean, you're looking at anywhere between 200 and 400,000 depending on the type of
That's
surface you get.
That's just for the surface.
Correct.
Okay, we don't
So-
have any copy of that letter.
Oh, I will share it with you
Yeah.
in an email.
We've got Mark showing that there was a link, but.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. So again, it's just an information item, but if you have any suggestions for us, we're willing to take them. We just want to start moving forward in this process to hopefully start raising some money. Pete's been trying to collect money through the PTA. Every time we do the Quick Trip car wash fundraiser, we each get about 3,000, but obviously 3,000
That's
at a
gonna
time
take
doesn't do
Well,
much.
And, you know, a couple of years ago, I was looking at getting a piece of equipment similar to what Heather was talking about. And so this was maybe 5 years ago. That piece at that time was like $20,000. So I thought, okay, we'll raise money after a few years, through our fundraiser that we do, and after 3-4 years, maybe we have enough. Well, now that piece of equipment's more like 35. Same thing. And it's the piece of junk that she's talking about that would have been accessible to kids, to, ADA accessible, but who knows how long it would have lasted. So you're paying a lot for something that isn't necessarily the highest quality stuff.
So any suggestions, thoughts around that? If you have businesses that we should reach out to, please let us know. We have a list going. Of course, I'll tap into Mike, because,
I don't know anybody.
he is good at getting money, but,
Be nice if
I
it's a
would reach
big
out to
corporate.
foundations more
Yeah.
than businesses for something like that.
yep. And I have, over the last 2 years, I've really been trying to dig into this. I have applied for certain grants, or I've attempted to. A lot of people reject us because we're not private. They won't fund public education entities, which is an issue. So that's been the biggest issue I've run into with grants, is that we aren't actually under their umbrella of places that qualify for.
Try Schneider and
Okay.
Press.
Call them all the time, I think. Building up their names on it.
Yeah,
Those are the
they
type of
might-
foundations
they
that
might
I've been
miss.
talking about, like George Crest
Sure.
Foundation, Jim Bubba Foundation.
Sounds good. I will send those letters off, and then if you have any other suggestions, if you could just email them back, that would be helpful to us.
Okay. Motion to close session? Okay,
So
I
make
need a
that.
motion to adjourn closed session.
Motion.
Yeah.
Motion by Alex, second by Brandy, all in favor? Opposed, motion carried. Thank you, and
Maybe she would do it.
have a good opening.
We can raise this.
All I
much.
can say is, go right on right there.
Yeah, that would be great.
If we could raise the I need that money.
Yep. That would go.